What up, what up, what up? What?
I'm waiting.
Oh, man, nah, I'm not saying that. We're not done. Well, I'm done with it. I'm done with it completely.
Happy Tuesday, guys.
What's going on, everyone?
I snuck it in.
I just gotta say the what up, just so I can start it off and, like, I gotta get my energy up.
That toxic masculinity.
I mean, you could gladly, you could start off this Friday's episode. It's all questions about me. You're taking the reins on it, so go ahead.
I'm taking the reins.
Okay, so you could, if that's what we're doing, then Friday's episode, you could start.
We'll see.
Yo, that would be so funny.
I'm not a what up person.
Then say whatever. Hi, guys, this is Lauren.
I'll start it off super calm. They'll be like, is this the same podcast?
Like, let me look back on my phone.
I'll just be like, hi, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today.
Okay.
They'll be like,
I don't think I'm listening to the right Simpsons. Oh, man, what's going on, everyone? I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely fiancé,
Lauren,
she said, for those that can't hear.
Lauren, it's ASMR.
Oh, my God. So what's going on, man? Man, we got a lot of topics I'm, like, so excited to get into. We'll start off with this one, because I think this will be an interesting conversation.
Okay.
So last week on our Instagram, the General Conversation podcast, hit us up on one of our posts, and they were like, hey, you guys should do a topic or discuss, like, the terminology of couples goals. And I was like, I said that to you, and I'm like, that sounds pretty interesting. Like, let's talk about that. Man,
Couples goals kill relationships.
Yeah, I'm kind of...
That's my immediate feedback.
Yeah, and I feel like I may have a relationship advice topic that may coincide with this later in the episode.
Okay.
But do you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, so the whole couples goals thing is interesting because you're always seeing the highlights of someone's relationship and you're like, I want all of that. And like you think to yourself, you're like, I want just that. None of the bad stuff. Like they must just have that. You know, like they're perfect. And so, and it kind of ties in with the whole social media and like mental health kind of thing, how it really can affect you as a person and your relationship.
Yep.
I know for me, it's always been difficult because I'm always one of those people who sees, if we were having a struggle, it kind of amplifies because like if we're down and I see people that are up, it's like, oh, like you kind of feel even worse because you're like, I just want that or something. And so like then you actually make it a bigger problem.
Okay. Let me know if you want me to go with this because it's going to get a little personal. Not too crazy. Mm-hmm. Which this is a good thing on your part. So hang in there with me. Mm-hmm, as you say that, it reminds me of back in the days, like, yeah, you were that person. That whenever, like, if we were in, like, if we were in a bad situation at the time and then you see, like, someone got proposed to or someone's, like, in a happier relationship that as from what you could tell on social media.
Right.
It would be something where like you would take it out on me or it would just be a fight or something that would trigger you to then cause an issue in between us, which I gotta say now I haven't seen it be an issue for however long, so congrats to you. Again, I'm just sharing
personal
it.
growth. What up?
At a certain point, like that was you for a period.
Right.
Like why can you explain more into that? Like why you saw that?
This is an issue that started in my previous relationship, so I think I brought that over, and where I always saw these people fawning all over each other, women crush Wednesday and man crush Monday, and like just all these posts of adoration and public displays of affection on social media and things like that. And I'm a romantic person, so naturally I like that stuff. Okay. Yep. And I still don't think it's that much to ask for it once in a while, but it's the seeing what you don't have and wanting it kind of mentality. It's the whole, like, you could have something that's perfectly fine, but if you're like, there's this pocket of something else. Like, oh, I want that too. Like, it's kind of it's the whole mentality of, I literally want everything that's amazing and
Pretty
nothing
much.
that's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, and that's because you look at also like movies and stuff when we grow up. That's what it started with me is I fantasized with like romantic movies and romantic songs and stuff like that, and kind of thought that could be reality. Like, I know we dug into this like in therapy a little bit, was with me, I kind of had this mentality of that can be real. And so that was kind of a whole kind of reality check for me.
Yep.
Is like, it sucks because, yeah, everybody would love that. That would be ideal for everyone. Obviously, everyone would be happier, you know, and love and perfect and all that. But it's just, that's not reality ever. Because even if you can have the strongest, healthiest, happiest relationship, there's still things that it took to get there. You know, like I'm a firm believer that you kind of have to maneuver and work with each other to get to a better place. Like, no one just... I really don't believe the whole, like, anybody just falls into a perfect for them relationship. Like, you can find someone that is ideal for you, and you can find, you know, they have the qualities you're looking for and the values and whatever. But I feel like at the end of the day, everybody's a person with different, like, mindsets and whatever. And you have to mesh that. And that's why the whole, oh, you should live together before you get married kind of thing is so important nowadays, because I think our generation has really seen that, yeah, you could move in and you really hate this person now. Like, you cannot live together. Like, some people find that out and then they have to end it. So, yeah, I think that's the long answer of kind of where that stems from with me. And it was ultimately something that was a pain point in my previous relationship, but that was also piled on other stuff, which didn't help. And then I brought it into this, which again, it's always been piled with other stuff. It's never the fact that I look at a social media post and I'm like, oh, I want that. And then I'm like, I'm going to just cause a big issue about it. It's usually like other stuff is happening in the relationship, so it's amplified. Yeah.
I dig that explanation. That was very, like, spot on.
Yeah.
It's interesting with this, like, when you break down couple goals, because, like, my idea of couple goals is, like, essentially what we're doing now.
Okay.
Like, for example, let's break it down. Like, I was just thinking about this earlier today, where it's like, yeah, you're busy, like, during the weekends doing your thing. I'm busy during the week, whatever. Like, so, like, we split up, like, certain chores and different things. Like, I don't mind doing the laundry and knocking that out while you go and work because you're doing whatever you're doing during the weekend.
Right.
Like, I don't mind certain things where, like, we just juggle and, like, work through.
Right.
That's why I feel like isn't showcases enough, and isn't called, like, couple goals. Like, couple goals are more so like these
grand displays of affection
exactly
versus like the daily stuff that makes you work.
Like, oh man, my boyfriend just got me this huge teddy bear. He loves me so much. Or
right,
like,
and it's like the promposals and like stuff like that. Like,
it's seen as very childish, and we take that as we grow up, when we apply that to, like, you know, as we hit 20, 30, 40, whatever, and we still treat these people like, man, you gotta do this for me. I expect that of you. Like, we have so high expectations for these people, and it's like, you're being unrealistic. Like, for example, I'm not big on social media.
yeah.
And every now and then I'll give you, like, a little appreciation post because I know, hey, you like that. But I remember, like, in the beginning stages, I think it was an issue, like, real early.
Yeah, because again, I brought it over from the previous relationship.
Over time,
that's still who I was.
Over time, hasn't been much of an issue, but I know that's something that you like. So every now and then, hey, cool. But I like that it's not an issue, and it doesn't, like, it's not something that's forced on me where I have to do it for this person.
You know what I just realized? I feel like you forced yourself to be someone you weren't in the beginning stages, which then is why we had so many issues. Because then it was an unraveling of, oh, I'm finding out who this person actually is, and do I want who they actually are?
No.
Because I remember you had always said, like, I remember those different posts, and they come up in my memories and stuff, like when we were 6 months in, or a birthday, or like a different stuff. You did it more than you.
I mean, I see the same posts, but no, it's not. It's not. What was the word you used?
Unraveling? Is that what you're talking about?
Damn, I'm not.
I used a lot of words.
No, it was the beginning part. It's not. I guess not like it's not like a fraud or a fake or whatever. But it's more
I just feel like you made yourself do stuff differently than you would.
Yes, because in my mind at the time,
I mean,
it was very cliche, but it wasn't like my best foot forward. It's like, oh yeah, I don't like doing this, but I'll do it for this person that I like, that I'm interested in. Sure,
but it's funny because that ultimately led to problems.
Exactly, because
you were
that wasn't me,
and that's what I liked, and it it was this whole.
So it wasn't
to think about.
To me, it wasn't necessarily faking because I don't mind it, but not in the excess nature that you wanted it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like I could still
it's
make it
one of those
happen,
things
but it's
where
like
you have to meet in the middle.
Yeah. Like it's like I give you your props. Like I see you doing something like, hey, I thank you, appreciate all that stuff. But to like always do it and like it's a lot. It's draining when you're like, man, like.
See, what do you mean by that? If you see me doing something and props and.
I mean, it's more so real life, not like online. Yeah. But like, yeah, it's hard to keep up that with like, oh man, or so 1 month I got to make a post and put it up, or it's 6 months and it's got to make a post and put it up, or it's 1 year and I got like it's your birthday or like different things like that. It slowly starts getting draining, and you get less of it because it's like I'm not that person to post my life at all.
Right.
And here I go with someone else. Now I have to post me and this person.
If someone goes on your Facebook page, all they see is stuff I've tagged you, and it's really funny. Like, have you ever looked at your Facebook page?
No, I don't.
It's just all stuff from me.
Yeah.
Like
I don't. I just go on Facebook and like everything just to view. Like the podcast is where I'm like the most active at. And that's probably where you can catch me. But everything else, I don't mess with that social media stuff.
It's funny because I was actually gonna bring up. So a couple days ago, I actually saw a post on Facebook, and I thought to myself, I was like, oh, this is really cute, and I almost wanted to send it to you, but I didn't because I'm like. I don't know, because I just thought of like the issues that it's caused in the past and everything, and that it's surface level. So let me explain. So, someone that you've met before, him and his wife, they are always posting back and forth because now they both have businesses, so they're either like reposting the person's business and supporting and like, you know, that kind of thing. But then they also post like cutesy whatever's like with their kid and like and each other or date night, whatever. Yeah. So his wife, it was World Mental Health Day last Thursday, and his wife had posted a video of herself talking about her journey and her whole story and everything. And it's funny because in the video, you know, she's talking about how part of the problem with mental health is, you know, people see that it's just, you know, they see, oh, you have the perfect, you know, husband or kid or job or life or whatever it is. And that's part of the whole issue. And so she's talking about this stuff in the video, but then ironically enough, he reposts the video and it says, my wife's courage amazes me every day. And like, I saw that and I'm just like, that's really fucking cute. Like, genuinely. Like, I still think these things are adorable because they are. But it's very interesting because, you know, she's even saying, you don't know like what's going on in my life, and with, you know, we don't know that what they've been through. Like, they've been through some awful things like miscarriage and or no, not miscarriage, I think it was a stillbirth. So just you know, they've been through things as a couple, and I don't know what they've been through just at each other or whatever, but you know, it's a very interesting concept. So it's I thought it was funny that we're talking about this and that happened just a couple days ago. So
I like to look at things from both sides, as you know.
Right.
So I'm gonna look at it from the other perspective also, where it's nice. I'm not taking that away from it, but also look at it from the next part, and I'm like, I don't know.
What?
Like, does she force you to do that, or do you do that out of your like own will?
I mean, here's the deal, dude. I do not think everybody's forced to do it.
I'm not saying.
I do think there are people who just do it.
I just look at it from both ways. Whoa, feisty.
I'm just saying there are guys out there that would do it.
I'm not saying there isn't. I just look at it from both ways, just like I look at everything. Not everything is so like just.
Well, they do it
flat.
back and forth because then she had posted. Now I have to find. Then she had posted about date night with my everything, like last night.
Yeah.
So like they both do it back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's a complicated day and age we're in because this wasn't an issue 20 years ago, you know, and
pretty much.
There's more pressure, I think, and then it causes inadvertently more issues because before it was just, oh, you know, send me a letter with how much you love me, or tell me, or like, you know, like let's talk, like say that you care about me or that you're excited to go on my date or whatever.
Before social media, it was all the PDA. It was the let's make out on the side. No,
but I'm saying in these similar fashions, like if it's about, because what these are is basically telling the world what you would tell the person.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
So I'm saying before it was easier because you would just tell the person. So like the person wouldn't feel like something else is missing, because I think that's part of the issue is you could be telling me it in person, but because of the day and age we're in, now you added another layer of, but they're not doing the extra part. And it's like, it just made it more complicated.
Well, now it's like I'm sitting here competing with the world. It's like I'm competing with everyone else's like posts and this and that. And like, now you're telling me, man, you saying this to me in person or whatever, or showing your love to me, you know, in real life isn't good enough.
Not enough. Yeah.
So now it's like, man, you got to show us online. You have to prove to me that you love me by sharing this with everyone. Like I saw some Instagram influencer I follow. Her and her boyfriend just made like an Instagram page for them, like each other.
Okay.
Like a couple, like I guess
like what.
I wouldn't say what we do with the podcast, but it's more so just like they have their own Instagram like pages for themselves separately, and now they have a couple one.
Okay.
But it's just to share pictures of them together.
That's weird.
And it's not like you're like
people
pushing anything.
Well, listen, that's like people have a joint Facebook. Have you seen those people? Like, it'll literally have both your names, and it's literally a joint Facebook.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but at that point, there's deeper issues.
That's some toxic stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can't have your separate, then there's probably issues of, like, trust or something.
Dog, no offense.
Literally. Because I'm like, what is the point of that? Because then your stuff all gets jumbled together. Well, you and I, you've said it all the time. My feed looks completely different than yours. Like, we like different stuff. Our friends are different. Like, it would be weird.
Well, it's weird because I'm not that you're doing anything wrong or I'm doing anything wrong. I just don't want you seeing my stuff. Like, and it's also, I feel like it's weird for the other people reaching out to you because they're like, I have this other person I'm not too, familiar with, like also looking at this, which is weird. So now I'm probably just going to hit you up on text, hoping that you guys don't freaking share the same phone number. I don't know. In this day and age, oh god.
I think what also makes it harder is because, like I was telling you, when we were having a deeper issue and it was amplified, I feel like what layers on it is if you're not getting enough of that affection at home, like you're not getting the sayings or the whatever, like between you guys. If you're not getting that in real life and you see it on social media, then again, it amplifies and you're like, oh, I'm not even being told that, let alone put on Facebook.
I'm going to disagree on that one.
Why?
Because outside of, unless we were like in an issue already, you were getting that. Like, I'm up with the compliments. Like, you look good. Like,
you and I, we've discussed this, how it's like,
you want a bit more.
That's
the issue.
But it's not an issue. It's
for me.
More,
for you, it's not.
Okay, well, it's more of, again, we have to meet in the middle.
It's not like I'm sitting here.
Not just be like, no, we have to meet in the middle. So I feel like that's where it causes an issue is if someone's like, I'm just not going to do this, then the other person's like, well, I got to find it. Like,
but it's not like I was doing like nothing though, because I'm trying to like
not nothing. You know what I mean? It's still like
I feel like you wanted just
balancing
way
act.
more. Like
Well,
you
right,
just
so
wanted
there's a
like
balancing act
everything.
there.
Like it was just it wasn't to me. It just seemed unrealistic, and I feel like if I was in that mindset today and could better like articulate it, because we're not in that same place we were a year or two, whatever ago.
Yeah.
I'd be able to break it down, but like there was a lot, and at the time it was unrealistic. I feel like if I was to explain what was requested or expected of me, I feel like people would have agreed like that seems a bit too much. Like it's funny where it's like I see this in older relationships where I'm not sure if this would even be considered couple goals, maybe, but how like the wife or the girlfriend, like she's very like yo, you have to do it my way, we're doing it this, like you can't have your own life. And if you
Is that so?
not related to what you're thinking of, it's just my own thought.
Okay.
But it's like it just came to my mind because I know I have a friend that's like his family member, like he can't hang out with us, can't do anything with us until like late, until like 10, 11, until the wife goes to sleep, and it's like, all right, he come out to play. It's like we're back in like some high school thing, and it's like,
Right.
damn, like you're stuck.
Well, it's very interesting because it can go both ways, where either the man or the woman has that power. Because like you'll see that both ways, where it's like it'll be a thing for women too. They'll be scared and they'll be kind of forced into doing whatever he says just to not get him upset, and to like, you know, be the whole wife goals or whatever you would call it.
Yeah.
And then vice versa. Yeah, it absolutely happens the same way, where the guy is just like, it's easier to just do what she says. And that's hard.
I'm good.
Because at the end of the day, someone's going to end up resenting the other in that relationship, because you're not going to be happy like living like that long term. And then also you're not doing the hard stuff. Like it's almost like you're just kind of scared of it, and like you're pushing it away, like the hard conversations of, yeah, you may get into arguments, and you may, you know, this may be longer, drawn out than you want it to be, but like you have to work on middle grounds.
And you know, it's interesting that like as we're talking about this, it reminds me about also like another friend where like him and his wife were going through the same like things that like we were, where she was like very like, she had high expectations that, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that, like I want social media posts. Like it reminded me of that a lot. And I kept telling him, I'm like, yo, you should probably go to therapy. And of course he's like, I feel like he said they went once and like she backed out of it and all that stuff.
That's
and it's
hard
like,
too, though, because you have to both be on the same page with that.
And it's like, how
you can't force someone to change if they don't want to. You know what I mean? Like if you force someone to go to therapy, it doesn't help.
Well, of course,
you have to be open.
But it's like, all right, then we're gonna have issues because either one, I'm not the type to be a pushover, so it's not gonna happen. So this guy's down to be the pushover. All right, cool with you. But I'm not trying to live my life unhappy. Like I only get one. I'm only gonna be like, for example, I'm gonna be hitting. Oh wait, when is my birthday?
It's the day we post this.
Oh, yeah, so,
it's just like mine.
Yeah, so it's my birthday.
Guys, it's his birthday today.
Okay, relax. It's my birthday today. So right now I'm 26. So in this whole next year,
Missy's like, what?
Yo, I only get to be 26 this next 365 days.
No, actually 366 this year.
I don't care.
It's leap year.
I don't care. The point being is that I'm not letting anyone get in my way. No matter if you're a significant other, close friend, best friend, or whatever. I'm just trying to live my life. The next day is not promised. So to have anyone come and rain on my parade, have their expectations, have their issues with me, whatever, it's not happening. So all I'm going to say for all the...
You were just in it right now. You're like, listen.
For all the men and women that are in these positions where it's like, man, you feel kind of like held down by your significant other, by your boyfriend, fiance, wife, girlfriend.
Down, but you're holding me back.
Yeah.
That's
like, I wouldn't stand for it. Because, like, at the end of the day, we all deserve better. Like, we all like, yeah, just trying to live. And that's what I feel like couple goals is definitely going to be an issue. And like, it's super impactful in our day and age, but especially the kids that are growing up now that are having the Instagram, having the TikToks, having all this stuff.
Right, and you see it from the beginning. Because
Like,
we grew into social media.
You go on TikTok right now, you are seeing couple goals everywhere with them doing things with their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. It's everywhere.
It's like we're going into a generation where basically now it's going to be expected of basically everybody.
You're in kindergarten?
Like your relationship is a social media presence, period. Like that's part of it.
Yeah.
Like it's part of the checklist of like, okay, is he nice to me? Does he respect me? Does he post stuff on social media? Like it's like in it now.
And I'm not having it. Like when it comes time for us to have kids, depending on whatever technology is in that generation.
God, I'm scared.
Again, giving my advice. Take it with it, whatever you want to do. I don't care. But where we're headed with this,
I love him.
Yeah,
You're 14. Shut up.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I saw like some relationship advice that was like very like. It's so childish when I was like running through some. I'm just like, man, of course, you guys are 16 having like these little social media problems. I'm like, get out of here. This is a bigger world than you sitting here on your phone.
He only liked my picture. He didn't love it.
Oh, man. He went and liked her picture.
He said he loved me.
Oh, so another thing, Instagram in the recent update where they put in our dark mode, they got rid of like the activity or following tab, which I never looked at because I never went to that side of Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. They got rid of it because no one was using it. Unless you were like the girl that was like, true. Hey, what's happening?
That is true. I would do it like once in a while.
I'd never press that. I don't care what you're following, what you're liking. It doesn't matter to me unless you're the stalker girl or guy that's being like, yo, what you doing?
Wait, yeah. So it was on activity before.
Yeah, it's not there anymore. Huh. Because no one...
Only on dark mode or just all of it?
In general.
In general, yeah.
Interesting. It was pointless to have. Huh. If no one's looking for it, why do you have that information? Also, it was causing breakups around America. We can't have that.
Okay, but then there's a bigger issue because they got to learn how to trust without seeing this information, and people...
What were we doing before phones and Instagram? We were trusting in general. Like,
yeah, yo, if I had its own issues.
If I have to sit there and have parental controls on you and like look at you every single time, we got a problem already.
Joint Facebook account.
Yeah, exactly. Joint Instagrams also.
Saying, yeah.
Like now I see why that girl made her joint Instagram with her and her boo thing. Like, shoot, guys, follow. We're gonna get rid of our own. I'm like,
well, that was lengthy.
There's a lot to get into.
Were passionate.
So I want to get into something else that is also something that I feel is passionate, at least to me. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be passionate to you. So I want to talk about Tyler Perry having or owning his own studio compound and like how major this is, like not only for him, but I would say for everyone in a sense that's like business minded.
Okay.
So to give you a bit more details on this, and I call it a compound because it's not just one studio. He has 12 studios in this like huge, I think it's like 300,000 acres? I don't know, something.
Oh.
It's like a huge thing. It's bigger than like Paramount. It's bigger than a lot of like.
It was bigger than like 3 of them combined.
Yeah,
was it Paramount, Columbia, and Disney?
I don't know, but it's bigger than a lot of these. And he named like these studios after like prominent like black people, so like Will Smith, Oprah, Spike Lee, Denzel Washington.
Dang, no pressure.
Don't
let me down, guys.
I love this so much. Now I'm going to talk about it from my point of view, of course, and I love it. The fact that okay, let me start with this here. I don't really rock with Tyler Perry's Medea series. I was never that big into it.
I never really watched it.
I mean, it wasn't catered to you. Let's be real.
Yo, sir.
But I never watched it because I always, in my head, from what I saw, probably like the early Medeas, I feel like it made black people look kind of dumb. Like,
well, did it feed into stereotypes?
That's what again, I'm going from the earlier stuff that I saw. I don't know what happened throughout the years or whatever, but from what I saw, yeah, like the whole aggressive black woman, all that stuff, like having the gun, like all this stuff that like I was like, I'm not too big on it. I'm not really gonna follow it. I'm not gonna dislike Tyler Perry. Just that series was not for me because he's made other things. I can't think off the top of my head.
Wasn't there something else you and I watched that he made?
I'm not sure if he made it, but I know a lot of the people that are like a part of like Tyler Perry's like clique, like are in other things like the Carmichael Show, the dad and the mom. No, was the aunt or uncle? I don't know. Like certain people that he is always working with. Branch out to other places, so you probably know them if I was to point them out.
Yeah.
But it's just major. Like it being a black person, he owns this outright. Like doesn't owe anyone. He's not partnering with anyone.
Which is
like
insane.
That is wild. And I guess this has been like this compound has been like open for a while now. I guess it's the reason it's actually open is just for the public per se, where you can come and do tours every so often. And it's so interesting. Like they shot Black Panther. What else did they do there? The Avengers. They shot some like stuff like at that in his compound before. The Walking Dead is shot there. I'm like, wow. Like
so I don't get how that works then, because if no one owned it.
No, he's had it for a while now.
Oh.
He's just now he's saying it's now he calls it the grand opening, but it's not like it's just now opening. Okay. He's had it for a while. It's just I guess it's more so like publicly, because you can go and do tours at this place, right, given if it's available.
Interesting.
But I just thought that's so major, because like that's what I preach so much, or at least for me that I'm doing, is like mainly for my siblings to like be successful, get the nice house, get the nice car, like prove that like, yo, you guys can do this too. Like
it doesn't also happiness, not just materials.
Yeah,
happiness and growth
but the thing is,
yeah,
I push happiness all the time. Like I'm not doing something unless I'm happy, and like if I ever have to break that down to my siblings, like, hey, yeah, like I'm not getting a house. For example, I'm not getting married to you if I'm not happy. I'm not moving in with you if I'm not happy. Like, so many things I'm not doing unless I'm happy. So happiness is already there. That's number one.
Hey, now, that means he loves me.
Now it's getting everything else. Like, for example, I recently started getting back into stocks after like, being able to like save a little bit and be like, I'm not doing anything with this. It's only like a little bit. But hey, when you're not struggling, it's like, sure, put in a little bit, see what happens. And I was thinking to myself, which I told to you, it's a luxury to be able to put in like a little bit of money that you have in stocks and not care about it and have that sit for years down the road.
Also disclaimer, like it's your like monthly blow money. It's not like it's being taken from our it's
stuff that I save.
Right, which ends up being savings because you don't do anything with it. Yes. Yeah. But like it's not. Yeah.
But like that's so.
Like obviously we're not struggling because we're doing the other stuff first.
Yeah.
We're being smart.
And it's like that's so major to me to be able to have like a foot in that door and be able to say like, hey, I own a bit of this or I have this. It's cool. And then down the road, if I ever make anything out of this, fingers crossed.
It's for his Tesla, big surprise.
No, my part is I'll be happy to pay taxes on it. Well, I have to.
Yeah, well, by then maybe we'll have to pay 99% of our income to taxes.
I mean, you can always move to like Massachusetts or something.
Seriously,
New York.
We gotta go.
Massachusetts. But I just find this whole thing major because like what he's pushing and doing is major, and I want to do that, but on a granular scale, like
itty bitty,
just touching friends and family,
like ant size compared to
friends and family. If I can motivate the closest people around me to do better, which I try to do, and I only hang around people that are like doing things, like that's major to me. Yeah, thoughts on it?
Thought it was epic.
That's it.
Well, I mean, you kind of took the reins there.
All right, so let me add to.
Okay.
Let me give you something to make your snowball there.
Because it's just a little snowflake right now.
You're planning to, and hopefully the the near future, like have your own spot for your makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that you're like, yo, I would love to like one day get to the point where I own my own building. I don't have to pay rent to anyone. Like I own this. Like that's where I would take it in a step for you, and which is like, it's kind of major when you look at it, and it's like, damn, like I started doing makeup, at my own place, or I don't know what you want to do. Like even start from the beginning, started working with other people, and then now you grew into like having your own place that you own outright. You have people under you working for you. Like it's crazy when you finally get to the top of what you're looking at, and you see the growth.
Oh, I get it.
Like
I get it. I can respect it. I totally get that. Yeah, because it's like right now I'm just trying to get a little place outside of here. But yeah, eventually I want like the whole full service salon with people doing stuff even I can't do.
Yeah.
But that way the business can still offer it. And yeah, I have big dreams. I want my own makeup line, like I've said. And that's terrifying. It's terrifying to think of that, just because like we've talked about the way social media has taken the whole makeup lines and collabs and stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see what the future brings, but I still want to do that because I have a different take on it than like the average person.
See, my thought is, after watching the third episode of that Shane Jeffrey thing, this isn't a topic point, but might as well talk about it. I feel like if people were buying Jeffrey's thing, yeah, of course you're buying it for the name, but if you're also buying it for the quality that he brings with the packaging, but also the product itself, there's a chance. Like, there's a chance that it'll have its own following. Like, as long as it's good, people are gonna come. Like, it's similar to like music. I'm not sure how it is for your genre, but like for rap, as long as it's not some like popcorn weird sounding music that makes me sound stupid or get dumb or whatever you call it as I'm listening to it, the people are going to follow and they're going to support you and say, this is great, check it out. And it's going to translate to word of mouth and all that stuff. So, I mean, there's a chance.
Yeah. It's a whole lot of work, though, and a whole lot of money. That's the biggest part. That was the biggest part with the makeup line. I'm like, I don't have a timeline for that at all just because it's a big investment. That's the biggest part. But, yeah, I got big goals, so I can respect it. I mean, and I know that this is a big move for the Black community, too, which is huge. So, do you not agree?
I mean, I wasn't going to preface it with the Black community.
Do you not agree that it's a power move? Like, it's a big deal. Because who are the faces of literally all the other lots?
I don't look at it as like a Black community thing. I just look at it as like,
I understand that because that's not only going to be Black movies made there. I get that. We
deserve a spot at the table.
Yeah,
like that's
all I'm saying. So it's a step in the right direction.
And it's funny because I got this from listening to Joe Budden's podcast.
It's just proving that you can make whatever you want of yourself.
I got this from Joe Budden's podcast where like I guess Love and Hip Hop was filmed there also. Because the director or producer gets like a really good deal versus like anywhere else, and it's cool that like he's supporting other Black businesses. Yeah, like that is major. Where it's like, hey, like I support you. Come over here. Like for example, I said Spike Lee has his own studio there, like named after him. Spike Lee and Tyler Perry don't get along. Like they don't see eye to eye, but they have the same agenda. Like they're still trying to push, I guess you could say, the Black community, if you want to call it that. I say Black people. But they do it in their own ways. Like, they're not doing it in any wrong way. It's just their own two different takes. And it's dope and honorable that you, like, say, hey, me and this guy don't get along, but I see what he's doing, and I'm going to honor him by giving him a name here. But, I don't know. That's all I got.
Okay.
I'm just trying to throw you the alley oop if you have anything.
I said what I got.
I said what I said.
Cool. Yeah.
I said what I said. Oh man. Well, off that, motivational note onto talking about this Amber Geiger thing real quick because I just gotta talk about this. So do you know what like the update on this whole stuff? I
mean, I know the sentence.
Okay. Let me break it down for you and everyone that's not familiar. So, Amber Geiger, lady that shot both John or Gene, I forgot how to pronounce his last name. The witness, pretty much the primary witness, which was his neighbor in the apartment complex, Joshua Brown, was shot.
Oh yeah,
this
I know this.
past weekend.
Yeah.
And when I first heard the news, I told you, I'm like, yo,
It's a setup.
this can't be another black person that shot this guy.
No, it's too weird. Like, come on.
So supposedly, I don't know if they have these guys in custody or if they're looking for them.
Actors,
What?
people they planted.
This is, we'll get into that. So supposedly, the police are saying this was a bad drug deal, supposedly.
Why? Because he's black?
Again, then
I'm
you gotta
sorry,
find
I'm
something
just
to fit the
saying.
narrative. But I'm gonna break it down.
Like-
I'm gonna get into this a little bit more. So supposedly they found like weed in Joshua Brown's car, and it's just there's some other details I don't really have them jotted down here, I guess, but stuff that didn't really make sense. I guess, yeah, they found one guy, not the guy that shot him, and that's supposedly how they're finding this information out. Okay, I'm gonna break down my 2
So
cents.
they didn't actually go to the scene and collect it or like do anything.
Well, I'm pretty sure they went to the scene.
Okay, the planted weed they got.
So
Like, come on.
I'm gonna go with my 2 cents here. If you are a drug dealer, are you really going to be a witness in probably one of the biggest cases in the last few
Nope.
years? Does that make sense to me?
You don't want eyes on you.
Like, you feel bad that the guy died, of course, but what? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you're
Yep.
doing anything illegal, you're not trying to shine a light on yourself at all.
Yep.
So, like, this whole thing
so
has
him
me
coming forward makes no sense.
Exactly. This whole thing has me, like,
Yeah.
so confused. I'm like, I don't believe this at all. I really feel like probably police, because who else would really do this, got upset that, like, yeah, this guy was he was the reason, majority of the reason she got sentenced, because no one else was there to, like, know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, no, I didn't hear her say, like, put your hands up or anything like that, freeze. Like, she just, it was just shots. And he was like, oh, shoot, what's happening? Like, come on now. That had to be like karma, where it's like, oh, okay, you're going to rat on one of us, we're going to take you out. Like, it's so dirty. So I just had to give an update on my thoughts on it. I hope I don't know. It's because it's so tough. It's such a mix-up with this. Like, it really just sucks where you're just trying to do the right thing for your neighbor because he wasn't treated right.
Mm-hmm.
And then for it to happen to you is wild. Man. Oh, man. I had to check the time. I was like, what time are we doing at? I feel like we're rocking this. What?
It's long.
Is that a problem?
I don't know. It depends who you are. Missy was just sleeping when you went, is that a problem?
Mm-hmm.
She's like,
She's like, oh, he's getting feisty over there.
What happened over there?
All right. I'm going to get off that bandwagon there. And we're going to hop into some relationship advice topics.
Hey.
And I think this may coincide with what we talked about earlier, but
Hey, look at that.
we'll see. I'm not
Look at
sure.
that.
I didn't plan it. So if it does or if it didn't,
Look
I
at
don't
that. Divine intervention.
know. Man, here we go. This is a long paragraph.
That really is not.
Pray
okay.
for me. You going to pray for me?
2 hours later.
Shut up. Shut up. Oh, God, I hate you.
How can I spice up everyday conversation with my wife?
All right, I got this. Relax.
That's
Relax.
the title.
So this guy goes on to say, my wife and I have been together for 10 years and have been married for 7. Unlike the earlier years of our relationship, we have had hard times engaging in interesting, meaningful conversations in person and throughout text. We will text the usual, how are you doing? How's work going? But it usually ends up in one-word answers, and the question falls flat. There have been. It's not me. It's the guy.
Okay, babe.
There have been past situations where she's texted other people, men and women, sometimes hiding it from me, just because they were new, fun people to talk to. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I take the blame for that because I know we don't have much interesting things to talk about anymore. I've read that asking open-ended questions are important for making the conversation enjoyable. But but I don't even know what to ask about. Okay. What are some things you and your partner talk about or questions you ask each other to keep them from eye roll responses? What?
From those eye roll responses, like
I get it, but like, what are you asking her that's just giving you eye rolls?
I don't know, probably the same stuff. Like when I ask you something and you're like, you're asking an obvious question.
Oh, if you ask me stupid questions, yeah, you're getting an eye roll. You're like, dog.
Obvious is to the interpretator, so that's dumb.
Okay. Let me add something here.
All right, really?
Before the podcast, you were like, man, where's this information at?
No, I didn't say that. See, you're making it sound like it was that obvious. No, I was like, because the Friday episode we're doing is now guys or girls
ask
asking
questions that they always want to know about guys, something like that.
And I was like, oh, do we have, like, did you find an article or should I? And he's like, oh, that's an obvious question.
Exactly.
And I'm like, no, it's not.
That's an eye roll.
No, but because I didn't know if you wanted me to, like, find my own.
Okay.
Because
so
I'm the one asking.
Let me add this. Earlier in the week, I said, I'm going to have to look up things because you have a busy day.
Yeah.
And then later, now today, you go and ask me that. And where do I put anything that we're going to talk about in the podcast so we have like an organized...
Note, but I hadn't looked at the note yet, sir.
Then you should look at the notes because you know the answer to your question.
No.
Like anything I want to talk about on the podcast is going in the notes.
That's great.
Okay.
That's great.
So how should this guy and his wife have more meaningful conversations? Because I would like to say that we have meaningful conversations in our day-to-day life.
Yeah. I mean, you and I are kind of different, though.
See, my issue is, I don't like small talk with anyone. I like, dog. Don't tell me
the whole how is work.
It works the same. I went in and sat down on a computer. I left. Like, what? Yeah. I like.
See, mine's different actually. If you ask me how's work, my work's always different.
I mean, my work's always different, but it doesn't matter. Like when I'm out, I don't want to talk about that. I'm free. That was jail. That was jail for 8 hours. Okay. This one's interesting because it depends on the couple. And it sounds like his wife does not like the small talk that he's trying to conjure up because it's not like he's trying to make her create stuff.
Here's the thing too. Then she kind of needs to help though, because it's like you can't just be this closed off wall and like I'm trying here, like I'm trying to say something, but nothing's given. So why don't you kind of help tell me what would you like to talk about, or like what makes sense? You know, like I feel like that's the thing too, is you're two people, you need to work together. So if she's just being like not into it, okay, why? Like, hello, I can only work with what I'm given. So
I wouldn't. You're putting too much on her. I'm putting it. It
why?
Sounds like he was blatantly sounding like it's him that's the cause.
Babe, in a relationship, when stuff goes south, usually two people have like a part in that. So like, yeah, you got to work together to bring back the spark.
What was the spark in the first place? Maybe that's what you should find out.
Okay. But why just one person? The spark is missing for both of you.
Great. You should figure out, give some ideas first. Like, for example, when it comes to us having a problem, if you see there's a problem before I do, think of things. Then come and talk to me. Let's figure out if we can work on a solution that you're bringing, or we can conjure up something together.
Okay.
That's how I look at things. So you're trying to say, "Oh man, bring the other person in." I'm trying to say, "No,
but
like you gotta."
It sounds like he's trying to do that, no, and then he's not getting any reception.
It doesn't at all throughout that. They text, "How you doing? How's work?" Like it doesn't sound. And he's reading about open-ended questions. It sounds like he's the person that doesn't know how to properly give.
It sounds like he wants to try though. That's what I'm saying.
Which is not a problem. Well, he needs to understand how to have an open conversation.
Okay.
And I get it. Yeah, that person can also do it, but it's at the same time, it's like, dog, I get it. We can push it off to the other person.
It's not about pushing off. It's just like, tell me what interests you at this point. Because yeah, after 10 years, a lot changes. The person changes. So it's like maybe the stuff that used to spark conversation changed.
But it should be right in front of your face. Dog. It's a person you live.
Oh, please.
It's the person that you live with all the time. If you're not at work, if you're not out, you're around this person.
You and I both know it's not that easy.
How is it not?
Because something could be right in front of your face, but you're just not having it. Like
I'm talking about. Okay, you're making it deeper than what it is. Stay on topic. Work with me here.
I'm trying.
To start a conversation with someone, to have a meaningful conversation is not hard. You see that, for example, you were into Handmaid's Tale back a month or two ago. Mm-hmm. I don't care about that show. But if you care about it, I'll ask a question about it. Tell me more about it. I may be interested. I may have questions.
It's funny because the open-ended thing, it's very similar to what you do with kids. You should always talk to them with open-ended questions rather than yes or no's.
Yeah.
So,
but it's like it's easy to create a conversation. There's certain things I'll talk about. Like now that I got into stocks, I'll talk about random things. Like I'll say, "Yo, is this crazy?" Or "What if I do this or that?" Like you may have no knowledge.
Bonkers.
You may what?
Yeah, you bonkers.
You may have no knowledge at all on a certain topic, but I'm just asking a question. Like you can go with it however you want. It's like I get it's hard for everyone, but I feel like he's looking at it like it's something that's like hard to do, and it's like it could be anything you could have an open conversation about.
It could be harder for other people.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're not that type of conversation starter.
It's similar to like creating content on the internet. You look at everything as like this is what can generate something for us to talk about within our own like two circles, lives, whatever. That's I guess how you'd like look at this. Like man, or like. Go out to a movie. We'll go watch a movie that's going to be interesting and talk about it after. Like, man, I didn't like how Joker was in this new movie. I liked him compared to the other one. Like, I don't know. Like, there's so many, like, things. I get how everyone can have issues with this. But there's so many things that could be conversation, like, starters where it's not just going to end with someone just being like, yeah, that's cool. Go ahead. Feel free to disagree and agree.
I get it.
I feel like you disagree. Add whatever you have to add.
I already did. I said what I said.
So you're still pushing it on her.
No, I'm saying it's both.
Of course it's both. I'm with you that it's both. But if you see a problem and you want to address it, I mean, you should address it first and see where it goes. Now, if I'm clearly like having conversation starters and things that are like open-ended questions and then you're not like answering them or you don't care, that's when it's like, okay, we have a problem, because now you're not trying to work with me. Like what's up? We have a bigger issue because now there's no interest in talking to me at all and I'm putting this effort in. So that's where it's like, okay, try what you're gonna do is what I'll tell him. See where it goes. If you see no traction, nothing's working, she seems unfazed, unentertained, all that. Yo, sit down, talk. What's the bigger issue? Are you sitting here giving me this, shame of silence?
Stink guy.
Because of some issue?
Shame
because I didn't clean
silence?
I don't know. Because I didn't clean the dishes or something. Like, it could be a range of things. Oh,
sir, that reminds me of something you did recently.
Let's not talk about
you
this.
Put the lotion back yesterday or something.
What, and I didn't put it the right way in the right place?
So say there's where you put it. You put it right there, and it's just funny because it's one of those things. I'm like, this is why women go crazy, because all you had to do was that.
I was trying to leave for work. I just chucked it and let it slide.
But I just find that hysterical because I'm like, it's just pushing it back.
Dog, I can say the same thing about you.
And it was just there.
I can say the same thing about you. Like heck out of here.
That was interesting.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, man. What time are we at now? We could probably knock out another
54.
one. We'll probably knock out another relationship advice top ball.
Watch it be super long.
If that's the case, you want to read that? You shocked everyone on episode 63 when you're like, oh, guys. Oh, no, this is easy. Oh, man, this is a wild one because I'm like, this is wild to me. Oh, you what? What?
Do you want to read it?
No, you can read that. Go ahead. Be my guest, man. This is great. I'm loving this.
Me, 38 female, with my husband, 38 male. Why couldn't you just say you're both 38?
Why couldn't you just say before reading it exactly how it is?
Oh. Okay, they are 4 years in, whose family wants to visit for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. How long is too long for a visit? Background: we have 3 teenage kids, 2 of whom have part-time jobs in addition to school. Husband and I both work full-time jobs that have us away for long days.
Oh my god. Yo, I can't.
Listen, we do these on the weekend. I'm tired on the weekend.
Oh my god.
All right. Think lawyer and accountant. Okay, fancy pantsy. And often on the road traveling for work. Our weekdays are basically chaos. My job deals with the public, and I value the peace and privacy I get at home. My in-laws live a few hours away and visit a few times a year. Recently, they've mentioned coming to stay for 3 or 4 weeks because they're getting older and it's hard to travel. They typically expect meals and to be entertained while here. I just have no idea how to make a visit of that length work. My husband thinks I am being selfish and less than kind to his parents, and also thinks that a 4 to 6 week stay is totally fine. No cultural issues here. We're both from non-observant Catholic Canadian families. Just a fundamental difference of opinion over house guests. Should I grin and bear it or draw a line? What does TLDR mean?
Too long didn't read.
Oh.
You don't have to read that. It's too long didn't. If you don't feel like reading the whole thing to get the details, there's a short version.
Oh, I did not know that's what that meant. Okay, wow, you learn something new every day. Anyways.
Okay.
I don't go on Reddit.
Okay.
Anywho's-its. Yikes.
Yeah, so right off the jump,
No one wants that.
I'm fine with the family coming over for 2 weeks, at the most.
All right.
What is that pushing it?
I don't know. I still feel like that's a long time, but
it is. But if we're saying they only come a few times a year when they see us,
you know what I'm saying? Like long weekend, okay, and then.
But there's so many things that are wrong with this, at least in my eyes, and it seems like yours. Like if we have to, let's work on something. Maybe not 4 to 6 weeks, because that sounds wild to have you there for over a month.
Right,
like,
we're not a vacation spot.
Exactly.
We're not we are
this
still
is my
working.
House. I'm trying to relax.
Like the thing that really bugs me is the whole entertainment and all that and meals and stuff. And it's like,
exactly.
Nah, like listen, like the nights that, like when I'm running all over the place and like I have to, have leftovers or a frozen meal or something, like I'm sorry, but this is how we live. Like we're not Disney World. Like
exactly.
So
and that's my issue where it's like, okay, let's work on the time. Instead of a whole month, let's cut it down to half a month. And meals, they'll get a meal every now and then when I feel like it, when I'm cooking for everyone else. But outside of that, if you're telling me they're both either a lawyer or an accountant, like one of each, we're busy.
Right.
Like our kids are doing their own things. Like everyone's
busy with the kids though too.
Exactly. Everyone's busy. And it's like now I gotta care about these 2 other people. Like, I have to sit there and entertain you and feed you? Like
I would be cool if you want to use the food and, like, cook something. That's fine. That's different.
Sure.
Because, see, that's the tricky part is people would argue, oh, should they pay for the food? But it's like, you're kind of here. Like, that's kind of rude.
Sure. As long as you're not taking a lot of the whole food, like, making
right,
meals
like,
all the time.
Don't eat my whole fridge in one day. But yeah, like, if you want to make yourself something while I'm, working...
like it's so annoying. Like
I don't know.
And it's like I get the husband who is like, man, that's my mom, that's my dad. I get it.
That's
all that,
always
like,
tricky. Yeah.
No, like you can't tell. Like 4 months.
No,
4 weeks. 4
Jeez,
weeks.
4 months.
4 weeks. Oh. With any family member that I can think of is like, nah, I don't want to see you that much. I come home to relax. Like having someone that's not like your close family, like your kids and your husband, wife, whatever. Man, that's work. Because you still have to put up, even though they're family, I still feel like you have to put up like some type of like image of yourself there.
And I could just imagine arguments and stuff. And it's like they're.
Well, like how do you do this or how do you do that?
It's
like
gonna be an issue.
Why do you treat your kids like this? Like all that stuff.
I would never leave the sink like that. I would never like this. And oh my God, I could just imagine.
Right, I didn't think about that.
Oh, it would be a nightmare. They'd be taking over everything in your house.
That's so annoying. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get how you don't.
Because they'd be living there for a while. So it's like, it would, like, laundry, dishes, everything.
And it's like, you got to hope that now you have, a whole bathroom for them to use and all that stuff. Like,
plus, like, yeah, the whole privacy element, like intimacy and stuff, it's just now that's weird and it's different. Like, just everything.
yeah, it's tough. Because when you have, like, kids, you understand, like, their whole, like, flow of how they're going to do things. And now you throw another...
Right.
Like people where it's like technically they're kids in a sense if I have to sit there and entertain and feed you.
Right, but it's like, do we really want to be doing this with our parents in the next room? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
but it causes more stress.
Right.
Because there's so many added, it's unnecessary. Like,
like for us, even you, could you imagine, like, say, I mean, our setup is nowhere near ideal for people to sleep over, but say like a parent or two or whatever, they were sleeping in the living room and they went to bed early.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That would be terrible for you because I could go in the bedroom, but
That'd
then you would literally have to be like in the bedroom for hours before you went to sleep.
That would mess me up so much.
Because you stay up late.
I would be so irritated.
So you would literally, I mean, you would have to have a guest bedroom at least, I think, for this to work sort of out, so they could hibernate in there.
Yeah.
But...
Well, even having anyone here, like if let's say if I had someone here, it would probably be for like at least one night at the very most, at the max.
That made no sense. You said at least, and then you said the most, and I'm like,
I'm working on off the fly. I'm tired, just like you.
On the fly.
God damn. Man.
It's okay.
But like I can't like have anyone over for like more than you staying for like a night, because like past that, I'm someone that loves my space, and if you're gonna be in my space, we got a problem.
Well, that's welcoming of you.
What?
I don't know. You're just like, we have a problem.
But I'm saying currently, like if we were in another place where we had like, let's say if this office wasn't an office. Yeah. I'm
like, you just said the word. Come on.
This office wasn't an office.
You got it.
Sure, it could work where they would be here, because there's no reason for us to come in this area.
Right.
But outside of that, it's like I don't really want you to be out in the living room where I'm trying to live.
Live in the living room.
That's such a pain. Like, nah.
Yeah.
I really don't understand the husband part. Like, I really want to know more about why the husband thinks this is so like acceptable. Like, why don't you cook the meals for them?
Maybe he just has a really good relationship with them, and that's
why.
Well,
it's just a family, obviously. But it's like, why don't you?
It's obvious. What, sir?
Okay, it's a family, most likely. Okay, is that better for you?
It's a family, but that doesn't mean shit.
Okay. Nonetheless, why don't he? Because I feel like the meals are gonna be pushed on to her. So it's like, all right, why don't you make them meals or find out how they're gonna eat for the days that I don't feel like making anything because I'm out here trying to work.
Okay.
I don't know. Just my 2 cents.
All right.
Thoughts?
I said what I said.
I like this episode.
Missy, you came to join us.
Man, now the dog's gonna be clawing out my leg.
Yay.
Like, come here, guys, pick me up. Well, I'm gonna. Okay.
Hi.
I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up.
Hi.
I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up.
Okay, wrap it up.
Use a condom. All right.
Be responsible, guys.
Guys, it's been a great episode. I dig the conversation we had earlier with Couple Goals, Tyler Perry, all that stuff. As always, because I really love hearing people's thoughts and what they want to hear us talk about, everything like that. Feel free to send us a voice message for us, or voice message for us to send or play on the show. God damn, I'm playing a freaking tongue game today. Shut up.
That's what he said.
Oh, God. Feel free to send us a voice message on anchor.fm/PagingTheSimpsons. We'll play it on the next episode. Ask us anything, a topic, a question you may have, anything like that. Happy to answer it. If you don't want to have your voice played on the podcast, feel free to shoot us an email at PagingTheSimpsons@gmail.com. As always, take a moment if you're listening to this on iTunes and give us a rate and review.
5 stars, 5 stars.
It is greatly appreciated. With that being said, we're going to head out. I'm Shadell, co-host of Page on the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely fiance and dog,
Lauren and Missy.
and we'll see you guys this Friday.
Bye.
Peace out.